From this mountain in Baden-Württemberg in southern Germany, the view stretches all the way to Austria and Switzerland. This water comes from Lake Constance. Maria Quignon and her colleagues have brought it up here from 60 meters below. It provides more than 4 million people with drinking water. The water is good quality. Not much needs to be done to make it potable. Germany, Austria and Switzerland have built a series of purification facilities around Lake Constance. It's a cooperative effort between 3 nations.
Water doesn't stop at national boundaries. It flows across borders, so it's important to work together internationally where rivers and water basins are concerned. Water providers all face the same problems and worries.
Employees of Germany's Langenargen Lakes Research Institute monitor water quality for all 3 countries. Researchers remember all too well how extreme concentrations of phosphates almost poisoned Lake Constance in the 1980s. Today, researchers find only 7 milligrams of phosphate per cubic meter of water. 30 years ago, that figure was 10 times higher. Scientists and politicians agree that water quality should never be allowed to decline again, and have anchored that idea in EU law.
The European Water Framework Directive stipulates that European waters have to be restored to good ecological condition, and if they are in that condition, they have to be maintained.
The directive has applied since 2005 throughout the EU. Here too, 800 kilometers to the north of Lake Constance. Here in Lower Saxony, water monitors have identified a different problem: nitrates. There are increasing levels of salt in the groundwater. There are some 1,300 measurement points in Lower Saxony. Dorothea Altenhofen's employees take samples from each one of them at least once a year. So Altenhofen, a chemist, is alerted immediately if something's wrong.
It might be that we have to trace what substances are entering the groundwater due to man-made influences, for example, as a result of agriculture and the like. It's good if we know what's going on.
Crops like corn now dominate Germany's fields. Farmers use it to produce ethanol. Digestates end up in the fields, as does a lot of liquid manure. These are organically raised pigs. But most pigs in Germany are kept in extremely cramped conditions in mass farms. They produce more dung than needed to fertilize fields. Egon Harms from the local water provider is sounding alarm bells. Excess nutrient matter is contaminating the groundwater. Harms says farmers need to be monitored more closely, and he's calling for a moratorium on new biogas facilities.
After many years, and with help from farmers, we succeeded in reducing nitrate levels in the groundwater. But now they're rising again. They've gone up significantly in the past 4 or 5 years. That violates the European Water Framework Directive.
And indeed, the measurements taken by Altenhofen and her colleagues are alarming. Nitrate levels at half of the measuring points in Lower Saxony exceed those recommended by the EU. Germany's western neighbor, the Netherlands, has similar problems, so Altenhofen is working together closely with Dutch colleagues. She's even learned Dutch. Water quality protectors on both sides of the border have been cooperating for decades. Support from the EU has made it easier to collaborate. Back Back to Lake Constance. Some see Germany, Austria, and Switzerland's cooperative efforts to protect water quality as a model for other European nations. But fishermen aren't so happy. If the water is too clean, it lacks nutrients for fish, and that reduces the size of catches. Roland Stor and his father are barely able to make ends meet. They can only catch 15 kilos of fish a day. They actually need twice that. In their village alone, 5 of 12 fishermen have quit in frustration.
It's sad to see how the future of fishing is threatened and how it will probably disappear. There won't be any more professional fishermen if things continue this way.
The fishermen want purification facilities to leave a bit more phosphate in the water so that there will be more fish in the lake. But the fishermen are alone in this. The EU has decided that the quality of these waters must enjoy priority over their commercial usage.